Hello, greetings everybody, and welcome here to the Prog Monster. My name is Murph. I am the host of this show. So we're here with the final episode of the mini-series that we've been running this week, Monday to Friday, 12 noon every day, featuring 5 bands that have 5 albums from different bands that sound like them. Today's band is going to be this one, Rush. I chose 2 Rush albums that I think are going to be represented here on this list. So Rush's 2112 here and Hemispheres, 2 very different sounding albums, even though they came out not too far apart. But Rush was growing exponentially after each album, very much changing their sound. Those first, probably up until Permanent Waves, all those albums prior to Permanent Waves were very similar in style. Well, not actually, were very unsimilar in style, very different from each other. Maybe Farewell to Kings and Hemispheres were a little bit similar, but once they got into the Permanent Wave era and Moving Pictures, they began to get that more electronic sound, which kind of took over their music for about a decade or so. But anyways, I have 5 bands that I think have a very Rush-like sound on the albums that I've chosen. So we're going to do the ones I don't have first, the ones I don't own. One of them is from a band called Triton, spelled Tri-Tan. Celestial Messenger is the name of the album. I think the biggest thing about this album that sounds very Rush-like is the vocalist. He's very Geddy Lee-like, more Geddy Lee-like than a lot of other artists I've heard that do this stuff and try to have that high voice, but you can tell it isn't Geddy Lee. This guy is very similar in sound. The music is very heavy, so more of an earlier Rush sound, not as complex. Obviously, you don't have the complex drumming or guitar playing that you get used to with Rush. But you still have the sound. They've tried to sound like them, but not as proficient instrumentally, but still really good, solid band. Lots of interesting stuff here. The next album up is another band that I don't own or have, but I can see why people think there's a Rush here. There's actually, to me, there's a little bit more of a few other bands in this band, maybe even more than you would think. So the band is called Zebra, and I chose the album No Telling Lies. Yes, it's kind of heavy like some of the earlier Rush stuff, but it's the vocalist again that kind of drives this band to that Rush sound. I don't think they're overly Rush sounding, but they definitely have some influence from them in their music. You can hear it. So that's my second now. Now the rest of them are ones that I do own. See, we will start with first this Polish band, Riverside. This is ID Entity. The main reason I bought this album is because of a couple tracks on here that I thought, Big Tech Brother, and there was one other one, I can't remember, one of the bonus ones, or one of the ones on side 2, I think, Friend or Foe maybe was it. Anyways, he has a very Rush sounding, I think it's more the later stage Rush, the late 90s, early 2000s era, that heaviness, very Rush sounding stuff, but not so much like the classic Rush sound, but still really good. And this is really clear. I think he quite nails it. The music, his vocals in some of the songs don't really sound Rushy, but the ones that do really have that inflection. So ID Entity from Riverside is one of my choices. Next up, these next 2 bands, very Rush-like. The next one is called Syrinx, Time Out of Place, sorry. More like the 2112 than the other Rush. They're more of a metal band. Definitely have that Rush metal sound going on. The guys that do the vocals, there's 2 of them, I think. One of them sounds more like Geddy Lee, but the other one really quite loud too. He's quite good. The different sound to his voice, but still really good. Yeah, when I got this album, I thought, wow, this really definitely has a 2112 era type Rush sound to it. So yeah, Syrinx by Time Out of Place is the name of the album. Really good. And their other albums have quite that sound as well. Okay, so the last album is this one, which I think has the most Rush sounding. And primarily because I think instrumentally they're not far off. Crownlands. This is another Canadian band from Oshawa. This album is called, sorry, I forgot what it was called. Okay, it's Apocalypse. Sorry, couldn't see it. Apocalypse. Really good cover of the album. Picture of the two guys. It's only a two-man band, and they play all the instruments. Very vocally, they sound a lot like Rush. The way in which they put their music together, very similar to this album. Very complex, lots of stuff going on. The drums are excellent, very good. Guitar is really good. The bass is strong. All the instruments that they play on the album, very Rush-like, and they play in a Rush-like manner. So definitely, to me, they are as good a Rush-sounding band as anybody out there. Crownlands, Apocalypse is the album. So those are my 5 choices for Rush, the final episode that we're doing. So I'll give you the bands again in the order that I gave them out originally. So Triton's Celestial Messenger is one of the albums. The next one is Zebra's No Telling Lies. The next album up is from Riverside, one of their many albums. ID Identity, really good, strong album. Next up is next one is Syrinx, Time Out of Place. And the final album, Crownlands Apocalypse. So those are my 5 Rush albums. I hope you've enjoyed this episode. If you want to make any comments about Rush or about the albums I chose or about the bands and albums I chose as what we would call similar or influenced by, whatever you want to call it, you can make comments about them as well. Or you might throw 1 or 2 albums in there of your own that maybe you think definitely qualify as a Rush sounding album. Anyways, glad to have, and I hope you've enjoyed the entire series. It was fun to put together. I had a dream and I woke up and I put everything in my dream on paper and decided to turn it into a week-long episode as opposed to having one every once in a while because people kind of lose interest that way. So if you do it 5 days in a row, they're on top of it. And so I hope you've enjoyed this Monday to Friday from 12 o'clock till probably about 20 after 12. And please enjoy yourself and take care. And we will see you all next week with other episodes of a different type. Take care and goodbye here from the Prog Monster.